Hi, everyone, and welcome to our Zoomside Chat. On today's edition, we are talking about focus because I don't know about y'all, but for us, it has been really, really hard to sit down at our laptops and do our work and just get into that focus zone.
Yes. So what I have seen and what I have read, and I am by no means a neurobiologist or neuroscientist.
What?
I know, crazy. It was my extra degree. No, not even close. And what I will say, what I've read and found is that our brains, they just don't have the capacity right now when there's so much going on to be creative and to be working intelligently. All these compounding fears and anxieties and opinions. So all of that is going on in our brain, what's happening in the world. If there are certain political leaders that ignite us feeling like we're in fear, and then there's our kids running around, and everything else that's happening in 2020. So we just can't process all of this information at the same time. So of course, when we go then to work on a spreadsheet at work, like we're not going to be able to look at it and focus on it in the same way. It's just not possible. One thing just really quickly that I thought was really cool is I saw a researcher, I think her name is Amy Arnston, and she said that in these moments, when you know more about how your brain functions, you can say, okay, I'm less productive right now. I can't focus right now because of my neurobiology, and that's really normal, which I thought is cool. It's like permission and understanding that there's nothing wrong with you. This is actually very normal and how your human body is designed to react to what's going on in the world. For me, I will say one thing that's really helped me to be less distracted is to take control of my space. So I tend to be someone who has a very cluttered desk. You have seen this yourself. I am someone who just kind of piles.
And desktop.
And desktop. Oh, that's so true. I'm the person with a million tabs open and a bunch of windows open all the time. And then I'm like, why is my computer freezing? And it's because I have so much that's open. And what I have discovered is that when I really focus on my workspace and I clear it out and it's clean every single morning, I'm more focused. And one thing that's really worked as well is I add something new every day to make me excited. So like I'm going to light this candle when I start working, and then it makes me excited to go to my space.
I love the idea of the candle. I think that rituals are so important right now. Routine and ritual, those are two things that are so important to get into that focused space. And the idea of incorporating sensory things to your ritual to help get into that space can be super helpful. So scent, taste, making that cup of coffee in the morning, even touch, like mood, like changing into a very comfy pair of pants, or maybe for you, it is getting dressed up professionally to look like you're going into the office, and just the feel of your professional clothes on your body will like kick you into that focus mode. And I've tried to establish a routine for maybe 15 years, and it's always changing, and I never quite get it, but I'm trying to give myself a little bit of grace. I am doing whatever works for me in the moment. And actually, we'll link this in the video below, but there was a TikTok I saw recently that laid out this really great strategy for how to craft a morning routine. And the strategy is built around, you put things into buckets. So you put something that's low motivation, medium motivation, and high motivation to do in your morning routine. So low motivation might be making that cup of coffee because you really want it. It doesn't take a lot of motivation. You'll knock that off your list easy. Medium motivation might be something like going for a walk. And then high motivation could be journaling or doing morning pages, or something along those lines that takes a little bit more effort to do, but is still something you're trying to get to at some point. So depending on how you wake up any given day, you choose from those buckets and you try to cross off like 3 to 5. It's really a good way to get into that morning routine flow. And for me, routines are the key to getting into that focus space. I don't know what it is about it, but if I can have a routine, and if, I set aside time for writing every morning or time for getting back to my emails at the same time, that is really helpful towards getting my brain into the, okay, let's sit down and let's get work done.
There's a lot of small tips that we can give for how to stay focused. And I feel, so maybe we can go through some of those.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, great. So one of them, speaking of doom scrolling, turn off your phone when you're in your focused work time. Like if you have 2 hours to focus, turn off your phone if you can. Usually you can. If you can't turn it off completely, then turn off all of your apps, put it on do not disturb, and only allow phone calls from one number or the numbers that you need.
And if you want to be real intense, put your phone in a different room. Like just put it in a different room because you don't need it. And if you are doing work that requires a lot of brain power, shut down your email. Don't leave your email open. Honestly, things can wait. I know that like causes like hives to emerge on people's like faces and they're like, oh my God, I can't have to answer to my email in 45 minutes or it's not true. You can actually wait. It's going to be okay. I promise. Like 99% of things can wait. So turn off your email and focus.
Yes. And then another tip that I will add is I read this tip for parents who are out there who have to be homeschooling their kids. So they essentially have to multitask, even though we know multitasking isn't great. And so one way those buckets, kind of like you talked about earlier, but they are high attention, medium attention, low attention. And so then you can still get certain things done while you're helping your fourth grader do some trigonometry. If you do trig in fourth grade, I don't know. But so you can do a couple things that take a little bit less brain power while you're helping your kids. So I thought that was a really cool way to organize your to-dos.
As a final tip on this, know when to quit, because there are some times where you are just not going to get there. You're just not going to be able to focus. And if you can, just call it a day. Sometimes call it a day. Go for a walk. Don't bring your phone. Sometimes, some days, especially this year, you just can't get there. And trying to get to that focus place is just like banging your head on a brick wall. Some days you just can't get there, and that's okay. Know when to quit and know that if you have made a little bit of progress towards your goal, towards whatever it is you're trying to accomplish, you've done something good and you've done something that day. So shut down your laptop if you can, take a break, come back to it tomorrow, because it's not always going to work. You're not always going to be able to focus, and that is okay.
All right. Next time, we are talking about the ever uplifting and yet so very important to talk about stress. We'll see you next time.